All right. Hello, everyone. Okay, so we are doing something a little different. The entire month, we've had guest speakers come and be a part of our team Zooms and just kind of give us some tips about every different thing. And I am absolutely over the top thrilled that a very special friend, Shauntel Lyons, is on, and she is going to share with us tonight. I've asked her one specific thing is really to tell her story. So I want you to definitely tell your story, and then I'm going to ask maybe a couple of questions after that. But I am so excited that you're here, and I'm just going to jump it over to you.
Okay. You kind of made me nervous with the one specific thing. And then I was like, okay, you're wrapping it around. You did ask me that. Okay. All right. So my story. Where do I start? You just want me to start from the beginning? Okay. All right. So just interrupt me whenever you want and stop me whenever you have any questions or want to ask me anything. I started with It Works. My name's Shauntel Lyons. I'm Ambassador Diamond. I am an introvert. I'm a yellow. I feel like that's important to say. I'm awkward. I am shy. I like to be behind the curtain. I don't like attention. And so I think that alone could shed some light into the fact that anybody can be successful with this. I started in April of 2012. And in that time of my life, I was working full time as a legal assistant, and I was in grad school. I was a year into grad school to become a teacher and was not looking to add anything to my plate. Definitely was not looking to start a business. My daughter was 1, my son was 10. And I used to be an NFL cheerleader. I was a cheerleader for the Chiefs. And a girl that I cheered with, who used to be my captain, started posting about the wraps. And I literally just wanted the product. And grad school is expensive. We were paying for it with cash, and I had gained about 20 pounds, and I wasn't feeling good about myself, and I just wanted the product. And she said, if you host a wrap party, I will give you a wrap. And that's really the only reason I hosted the wrap party. I couldn't really justify spending the money on the product, knowing that I was spending money on grad school. And so my husband went out of town. I hosted a wrap party while he was out of town, kind of in secret. um, and I guess I get $20 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're paying for cash for grad school, it was a lot. A cup of coffee was a lot of money. We were in a situation where everything was stressful. And so I had the party. She was walking out of my door. I wanted the product, and she, of course, introduced the loyal customer program. And I was doing the math, and it didn't make sense to spend $20 on one wrap when I could become a loyal customer and get all this product and the discount. And so then the guilt started coming in, and I just was like, oh, that's more money, but it's more product and it's a better discount. And she literally was walking out my door, and she said to me the words that changed my life forever. She said, Shauntel, you can become a customer and make me money, or you can become a distributor and make your own money. She shut the door and left. And so I sat on my stairs and I started crying because I was like, I can't add something else to my plate. Well, I'm crazy. I'm working full time. I am in grad school. I have a year left of grad school. I have a baby. I have a 10-year-old. My husband's going to think I'm crazy. Like, he's already stressed. And the word I kept using that first year of grad school was intense. I'm an overly stressful person anyway. I get anxiety very easily. I was never like a studious student in high school or college. It took me 9 years to finish my undergrad. Um, and so it's not like I was a straight A student. And I was so stressed out with grad school and the fact that we were paying for it in cash that I got straight A's because I was so stressed out. And so I literally sent my husband a text and said, Mother's Day is just around the corner. Please don't ask me what I'm buying. I just want $99. And he was like, you're weird. Okay, that's fine. So I bought my kit, and I just went bonkers. I went bonkers. I really didn't do anything with the business the first 2 weeks. I remember I didn't even open up my kit. Um, again, because I just wanted the product. But I remember one night I was studying and I had a book open. It was like 2 in the morning. I had to get up the next morning for work. And I looked down at the box and I thought, why don't I just open this thing? Like, what's going on in this box? Like, what? These people are making money. So I opened it and I opened the magazine. I remember Shelby Bowman. I don't know if you guys know her, but at the time she was like 19. Her husband was away at war. She had a baby and a toddler. Um, I saw Melody McFarlane. I saw Rhonda Hartman. I saw all these faces and all these people. And I read that magazine front to back. And I shut the magazine and I thought, you know what? The only thing that these people have in common is they all just did it. They're all different. They're all different ages. They all have different backgrounds, but they all just went for it. And I can do that. Like I have grit. And anything I put my mind to, I can go for. And I don't want to, my son was already in fourth grade at the time. I had already missed so much. I'd missed field trips. I had missed, he went to daycare for, every summer, every spring break, every Christmas break. And that guilt haunted me. And I didn't want to do that with my daughter. It's kind of like I had a second chance with her. Um, and so like, that's kind of the night that everything shifted. And I remember 5 weeks in, and I'm a person that like really worries about what people think. And that night I let go of that. I kind of just threw it out the window and said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to, no fear. I'm not going to care about what anyone thinks. I'm going to go, balls to the walls. I'm just going to go I'm just going to do it all. I'm going to give it my all so that I can never look back and say, I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have gave it my all. And so I was 5 weeks in and I went Ruby. I don't even know how I went Ruby. I just was posting consistently. I was excited. And I posted on whatever team page I was on. I said, hey, I'm a Ruby. I'm 5 weeks in. I want to believe in this. Can you tell me, whoever you guys are, whoever you people are? And back then, it's crazy because Ashley Sinclair back then, was brand new. Rhonda Hartman was brand new. All these people were brand new. I said, I'm 5 weeks in. Can you tell me what your rank is, how long you've been in, and what your last paycheck was? And it's like people came out of the woodworks. Hey, I'm Liz Barton. I'm a diamond. My last paycheck was $5,000. Like all these people just started shooting out numbers and ranks, and it didn't stop. And it was like this everlasting comment snowball effect. And it went on for years. And people just kept updating their comments. And that thread was like historic because it's the thread that showed me that these people are like totally normal and they can do anything that if they can do it, I can do it. Anyway, so long story short, I did it. I graduated a year later with my master's. I kept that 4.0, but in 15 months, I went ambassador and I became a top 20 earner. 3 months after I started, I was able to quit my job and just focus on grad school. And it's next month is my 7-year anniversary, and this business has completely shifted everything. I'm working on my third million in the business. I've not missed a single field trip with my daughter. And, I'm not a really materialistic kind of person, but just the fact that I've been able to go to the hospital with my parents um, whenever they've had surgeries or have they needed things or, just on the whim buy an airplane ticket, like little things like that. When my dog passed away 2 summers ago, I was able to lay in bed and cry all day, just like little things like that. Those are like the things and moments that have been the most meaningful for me, and what I'm most grateful for with this business.
Good. Oh my gosh, so good. So I do want to ask a couple of questions about your story. So back in 2012, did the business look different as far as social media, or did you do a lot of belly to belly, or how did you start your business? Um,
Yeah, back then a lot of people did belly to belly. Me,
Right, there were two routes. What the
all right. Well, that little intermission. All right.
I don't know why I'm apologizing, but sorry.
the
Let me ask again. So, back in 2012, what did the business look a little different than it does today, or how did you get to Ruby in 5 weeks? Let's just go there.
Oh gosh. Well, the irony is, like back then, everyone was belly to belly. I mean, you probably remember that because you guys were in back then, right? When did you start, Gina?
I was right behind you, September of 2012.
Okay, yeah. So everybody, I feel like, was belly to belly. But because I was so busy with work and grad school, and I mean, I literally I was like out of the norm to be not belly to belly. So I kind of felt like I was the black sheep. And so we didn't have power hours back then and all this fancy verbiage that we have now. But I kind of feel like I did my own power hours, even though we didn't have a name for them. So, for me, I had to wake up early and do my stuff. Like I had to prepare and have a post ready in the morning and have it ready to post. And then my lunch break, I did not have a lunch break. I worked my entire lunch break. And then after work, I remember I would come home and I would have to eat really fast, go into my room and knock out my homework. I would get my little one bathed and off to bed, and then it was crunch time. And then in the little, extra minutes, I would respond to people, answer my team's questions, follow up with people. So it's like I literally, I mean, people would always tell me like, oh, I don't have time, I'm so busy. And I would get so frustrated because I was like, I literally, if I added up the minutes and seconds and time that I used, it couldn't have been more than 1 or 2 hours a day that I worked my business that first year, year and a half. And I got to ambassador. Mm-hmm. And so you can't tell me that you don't have an extra hour and a half to 2 hours a day. And I was really busy and I was so stressed. And granted, and I always say this, and people, I don't know how to explain it. It was an ugly time in my life. And I don't mean that to sound bad, but it was ugly in the fact that I was stressed. I gained 80 pounds. I'm not proud of that. And I'm working really hard to lose it now, but I was stressed. I was working full time. I was in grad school and I was building a business. I had 2 little kids and I didn't have the intention of building a business. So I didn't know how to take it all in. And my way of dealing with that was sitting on my couch and eating and working. And so I wasn't exercising. I was saying no to everything. And so it was intense and it was stressful and I was probably mean and I was probably doing things in a way that I probably shouldn't have done it, but it got me to where I am now. And had I done it any other way, I don't know if I would have the life and I don't know if I would have the moments that I've gotten now. And so I don't think I would change anything if I could, because it's all been a lesson. And so, yeah, I did it all on social media. It was very consistent with posting and following up and doing all the stuff that people do now. It was just that nobody had a name for it. Most people did do parties and one-on-one belly wrap appointments and skinny Sundays and wrapping Wednesdays. And we didn't have Zoom. And so I did most of my team was not local to me. And so I forget what we used, but somehow I had a camera and I remember I launched Stacey Dennis in Texas and she was actually my assistant, which I didn't even know what an assistant was. I just remember somebody was like, hey, does anybody need an assistant? And I was like, sure. And then she became my assistant. 6 weeks later, she wanted to join the business, and she went on to go ambassador and become a top 10 earner. I mean,
Wow.
and she's one of my dearest friends now. I can't imagine my life without her. And so it's just incredible. And so majority of my team is not local to me. I don't know what it's like to have a local team. They're just all spread out all over the country.
Yeah, I love your story so much for so many reasons. One, just because I think you're amazing, and then also I love the fact that just sharing with you can work this business. I mean, 2 hours of your life, and then you were able to quit your full-time job at 15 months, and I was able to quit my full-time job at 14 months. It's like if people understood, and I think that's kind of why Stormy and I wanted to get some amazing speakers for the team, is because if people understood what they have in their hands, and if they would just intentionally commit to an hour to 2 hours a day, your life would be forever changed.
I was actually able to quit my job after 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's
Isn't that
insane.
crazy? Because I knew that I started in April, and I knew that I would have to student teach. And so my thought process was, okay, if I can be making, by the time I get done with grad school, if I can make more than what I would be making as a teacher, that was my goal, was $2,000 a month. I won't have to find a teaching job. And so, like I said, I overcompensate when I'm stressed out or nervous. That's where the 4.0 came from with grad school. And then that's where the ambassador came from, because I overanalyze and overstress. And so that's why I hit ambassador.
I love
And
that.
so,
I love
yeah. And so that's why after 3 months, I was able to, I mean, I remember, this is crazy. This is what's bonkers. I just went to Disney World. Okay. That is very significant because, my husband and I, when I was little, and this is not to say anything bad about my parents. My parents are amazing people, but you have to understand that my mom, my parents are both from Mexico. My mom does not have more than 8th grade education. My dad did not graduate high school. And so they always told me, you can do anything you want in life. And they always told me, we want you to do more than we ever achieved. My dad worked at a plant, a General Motors plant, his entire life. And he did the same thing on a machine for 36 years. And he was like, I would ask him, do you like what you do? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, why do you do it? And he worked nights. And he was like, because I have to. Same thing with my mom. And so I remember as a little girl, I said, and I have a freakishly weird memory, but I remember being in the garage with him as a little girl saying, do you think I could make $1 million? Or have you ever made $1 million in your life? And he was like, no, I haven't. And I was like, do you think I could? And he was like, absolutely. And so he instilled this incredible belief in me that I'm very grateful for. But I never got to go on vacations when I was little because they couldn't afford it. And so when I got married, that was where we went for our honeymoon, Disney World. And that was a dream for me. And so when my daughter was about to turn 3, I knew that once she turned 3, we would have to pay for her to go to Disney World. And so we saved for a year prior to me joining It Works to go to Disney World. And so it was the month before she turned 3. So July of 2012 was the month we were going to go. She turned 3 the next month. We landed in Florida, in Orlando, July 14th, 2012. That was when I got my first diamond paycheck. And my husband and I both hit diamond the same month. And up until that point, my husband wasn't really a believer. He was kind of like, why did you add something else to your plate? Very critical, just supportive, but not very just stressed out that I was a stressed out wife, So when we landed and I opened my paychecks and we realized that we weren't going to have to touch any of the money that we had saved for that trip to Disney. And he's got a business degree and a master's degree in business. And I remember that is when he came on board. And I remember one night he was just staring at me and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you don't realize what you have your hands on." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "One of my teachers always said, if you have a business where you can make money while you are sleeping or on vacation, you've hit the jackpot." And that's exactly what you have here. And so the culmination of all that, of knowing that, and since that vacation, my daughter was 2. She's gone to Disney World and Disneyland 6 times since then. It's just all too much for me, like I just feel so grateful. And like, that is like a big deal for me to be able to like take my kids on vacations whenever I want to. And so that's the stuff that matters to me, is just to be able to be financially dependent on nobody but myself, and to have that financial freedom is just priceless, and the freedom of time. Like I said, I just don't care about stuff. I'm not a materialistic person. I shop at Target. I have gray hairs. I dye my own hair. I get it cut once a year. I don't care about stuff, but I do care about people, memories, pictures, family, friends, love. Like, I just love that kind of stuff,
I love it. Oh, I love that so much. So I know that your why has changed throughout the years in some manner, that you started, didn't really know what you had your hands on. And can you share with us how that has morphed and what your why is today?
I think in the beginning it was overwhelming because, like I said, I couldn't even afford like a cup of coffee. And we were just so like, we were always Dave Ramsey fans, and wanted to be debt free, but never really thought that that was realistic. And then just knowing it was just kind of like you won the lottery, and then just the paychecks, it was just a little overwhelming initially. And I can only imagine what it's like for like celebrities that make millions a month or whatever. Like, I don't even know like how they process it. And now I have learned that like money is just money. It doesn't really matter. And so I've paid really close attention to make sure that me, like the person, I don't want to ever change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ever think that I'm like better or different. And so I'm very like, I make sure that like I pay myself $2,000 a month. Like, I'm a teacher, and everything else is just like, it doesn't exist in my head. Like, I don't want to ever. And so my why has changed in the fact that in the beginning, it was just kind of like, I went crazy. Like, oh, I can buy whatever I want, and I'm just going to go crazy. And that was like fun for a while. And then it was kind of like, I don't feel very good about myself. It was kind of like a kid that just sees a candy store and they just shove it all in their stomach, and they just are like, oh, I feel terrible. Now I am very like aware of like the future, and like I don't know, it's hard to put into words. Like, I want to like always be able to like, I want to be able to like, I'm so emotional, in case you can't tell.
We love you.
Like, my son is going to be a senior, and so he'll graduate and he's going to go off to college, and he wants to play football. And I just think it's amazing that if I want to, and if he goes, to a college completely far away, I'll be able to fly and see him play. I'll be able to afford to fly and have the time to go and see him play every single football game if I want to. Now I have another child here, so she has her sports, and obviously that's important too. And so I just think it's fascinating, though, that that is an option, and that is something that I never would have thought I would have the ability to do, because I see people. I had a friend from high school the other day, had a $1,500 copay at the hospital, and it's devastating to them, and it's going to put them in a very big financial, it's a burden on them. And I remember those days. I was on food stamps and I lived in Section 8 housing when my son was little. I remember sitting on the couch crying when he was a baby because I couldn't even find change in my couch to buy a gallon of milk. So I'm not far removed from those days. I know what it's like to struggle financially, and I don't want to ever lose that memory of what that feels like. And so I'm just grateful. And then so I just want to always keep that close to my heart. And I don't know, I just want to always make sure that if I see something that gives me goosebumps and it motivates me to give, I want to be able to write a check and give. That's kind of like what my meter is. Like when I'm watching the news and something makes my hair stand up, I'll just donate, but it's evolving. Every year it shifts. When we were at the park last week, I wrote about this on Facebook. I saw grandparents there at Disney World with their grandchildren, and I want to be able to take my grandchildren to Disney World. I want to be able to physically be able to take them, and I want to be able to afford to take them, and I want to be able to have the time to take them when I'm older. I want to be able to travel and see my grandkids play sports. I want to always have the luxury of freedom of time and financial freedom, because it's something I've had for 7 years now, and I don't ever want to lose it. It's very important to me. It's like very valuable. It's priceless to me.
That's so good. So if you could leave us with one tip, what would it be?
Oh man, I just think it's really important that you know that everyone's story is going to be different, and everyone's timing is going to be different. And nobody's story is better than anybody else's. And that as long as you believe in yourself, I mean, honestly, you're going to have people, no matter what you do in life, that are going to be negative or hate on you or say nasty things. It's like you can never please everybody. But life's not a dress rehearsal. You only live once.
So
and
good.
So you absolutely, have to give it your all. When I get to that last day of my life, I don't want to have any regrets. I want to get there and be bruised and banged up and scuffed and my hair a mess, out of breath, knowing that I gave it my all. I don't want to ever have any regrets, and I don't want to ever think, man, I'm so sad that I didn't do that because I worried about so-and-so, or worried about, how tired I would be or how exhausted I would be, because for a split second, I probably would have. There have been moments when I could have stopped, or I could have, slowed down, or I could have maybe not gave it my all. And sometimes it could be easier to quit, or it could be easier to not even open that box that night when I was sitting on my couch. Sometimes it's easier to play it safe and do what everyone else is doing, but it's not always worth it, So I just think it's always best to stay true to yourself, and to you always have that tap on the shoulder or that little whisper in your ear that's like, do this. And I just think it's always important to follow that, even if it doesn't make sense or it seems weird, or the timing's bad. I always tell people the timing for me to start this business couldn't have been worse. My plate was already overflowing. And now when I look back, it's like, if the timing would have been better, would I have given it my all though? If I wouldn't have been in grad school, or I wasn't working full time, or my kids weren't young, would I have pushed as hard as I did? Maybe that was the perfect time. So I just think that no matter what, just know in your heart that anything you want anything that you desire out of life, you are absolutely in full control of. Whether you succeed or fail on this is 100% up to you. You have full control of that and own that. It's an absolute blessing, and it's an amazing thing that you have your hands on with this. And um, I don't know. I could go on forever. Like I love this business. I'm so grateful for it, and I'm so committed to it. And it has changed everything in my life. I am like the most, I'm a hot mess. I'm a hot mess. People, I don't like to speak. I don't like to be in front of people. And so I think it's important for me to like share when people ask me to, because I want people to know that, if I can be successful with this, anybody can. Because through this business, I have grown, I've gained more confidence. I still get nervous. I am very sweaty right now. I stutter. But I do hope that through my story and through my sharing that you guys know that you are absolutely worthy and capable of achieving anything and everything you want out of life, not just with this business, but with life. And you absolutely should go for it. And I'm cheering you on.
Oh, we love you so much. I have to say, I don't know if you're seeing the chats. It says you're so inspiring. Thank you so much for your words. Beautiful, Shauntel. Thank you for your motivating me. Keep going. You're a true servant. You're freaking awesome. Thank you. So that's just some kind words from the group, and I just want to thank you so much. I text messaged her and I was like, hey, would you do this? She didn't even hesitate. Like, we'll be in Disney, but I can the next week. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So so good.
You're so sweet, Gina. Thank you.
Well, and I think also, since the recording's going, I want people to know I didn't pay her money to do this. She's not earning any money. We're on a totally separate downline than she is. It's just, that's what this whole business embraces, is just helping one another, encouraging one another, being there for each other, and not hesitating at all. You didn't hesitate at all. You're like, absolutely, I'm there for y'all. When do we want to do it? Let's meet. And so I really appreciate you so much for.
Well, I want to share something sweet about you. Do you remember at Ashley's house?
Barely.
You grabbed me, so I got to meet Gina. Oh my gosh, at Ashley Sinclair's house. Yeah. And I didn't get to see much of Gina, but the one night I did get to see Gina, we were having a great time around the island in Ashley's kitchen. And out of nowhere, like, this is so sweet. I've never had anyone do this to me. Out of nowhere, Gina grabs my hands and asks me if there's anything she can pray for me about. I mean, that is so sweet. Like, and she was not even joking. She was so sincere. Like, if you have not gotten a chance to meet Gina, her heart is huge. She's absolutely amazing. I adore you, and I'm so, so grateful for that weekend in Lubbock when I got to meet you ladies. Y'all are amazing.
We'll have to do it again soon, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Renee, I do too. I love this company. I'm so grateful. It's changed my life in so many ways.
The only thing I wanted you to tell in your story that you didn't, because I
Me?
feel like it, yeah. Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
It speaks volumes. Like, it's so huge, is that you woke up ambassador. Like, that's insane. It's just crazy. I'm like, is she going to tell this part? Is she going to tell this part?
Well, I mean, I'm 80 pounds heavier.
But I think the part that was like so inspiring to me, and like I think that other people, is you keep talking about how like the experiences and the people are why you do this, and you were so focused on helping your team that you didn't even realize what that meant for your business. I think that was the big part of the story that I was just like,
well, yeah, I mean,
you didn't put in this hard work and like all this time and effort. It was just how focused you were on making sure everybody else was reaching their goals.
Well, it really wasn't me though, because that's the thing that is so crazy about that whole time in my business. This is important. I guess I'll share this part because I think it's a very important part. There was, and I don't even know if you guys know this, but I started in April, and July my husband and I both went diamond. And then October of 2012 we both went double, okay? December of 2012 we were driving to Louisiana for Christmas because my husband's from Louisiana, and I wasn't maintaining double. And I remember thinking, okay, this is all going to fall apart. That was a fun little run. That was good. I gave it my all. It was good while it lasted. I hit double on New Year's Eve, barely. And then somebody, I don't remember who, probably my upline, they were like, you need to go to conference. And I was starting to student teach in January. And I was like, there's no way I can go to conference. And back then it was in January. And I figured things out and I got to conference. 20 people from my team went to conference. And so this is where I think it's important. And I remember driving to Louisiana. I messaged everybody because back then in my tree view, I could see everybody. My team was small. And I went through my tree view and I messaged everybody on Facebook. And I said, hey, I'm your double diamond upline, Shauntel. I just wanted to let you know I'm here to help you if you need anything. And everybody was like, nope, I'm good. I'm not really into this anymore. One person said, yes, I'll have a chat with you. All right. So I talked to her. I didn't even know who she was. We talked for a couple hours. She didn't know anything about charting. She didn't know anything about she didn't know anything about promoting. She didn't know anything about it. Was just insane. Anyway, so I go to conference. I remember I came back from conference so excited. I posted on my team page, this is what's up for grabs. Who's in? And all these people, it was like belief. You literally have to have belief, and you literally have to share that excitement and belief with your team, because if you don't have it, nobody will have it. And I came back from conference so excited, so energized. My belief was like insane. I was hyper. I was obnoxiously excited. I was like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was insane. Anyway, so I came back, posted that one sentence on my team page, and this whole spark. And I remember Hong Forrest. I don't know if y'all know who Hong Forrest is. She hadn't even signed up. She had been in since she signed up on my birthday in November. I remember, this is the funniest thing, and she won't care that I tell you this because we laugh about it. She hadn't even signed up one customer, and she commented on my little post, I'm going diamond. You're going diamond? You haven't even signed up a customer, Hong. How you going diamond? Okay, you go. I was like, whatever. Yes, you like it. I love it. You're going diamond. Anyway, so she posted that. Everyone was just excited, just on fire. You guys, Hong went ruby that month. Okay, the next month she went diamond. March, 2 months later. This is the part that blows my mind. You cannot tell me this is not God. 2 months later, I was just barely maintaining double, December of 2012. March of 2013, my husband and I both skipped triple and hit presidential. I didn't even chart anybody. They all were just so excited off my belief and my excitement, off the 20 people that were excited from conference. I don't know how it happened. It wasn't me. It was pure belief, excitement, faith, commitment. I mean, I always say, like, one person, one decision, one moment. You just have to have that belief. Mm-hmm. So if you're not waking up every day on fire about your life and what you're capable of, and your business and your family and your God and just all that you have to live for and offer to this world. And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. It could be a smile. I mean, have you guys seen that story about the little girl that hugged the old man at the grocery store? His heart was depleted because he had lost his wife. That little girl, that little 3 or 4-year-old girl, changed his life. He had been depressed because he had lost his wife. And now he has something to live for because that little girl hugged him at a grocery store. It's that kind of stuff that changes people's lives. It doesn't have to be earth shattering. That's the stuff that people want. People just want you to give them something to be excited about, to believe in. And then 4 months later, we went ambassador. And so it wasn't, I can't take any credit for it because it wasn't me. You know, I was completing my steps, but I wasn't doing anything earth shattering. You know, it was just all this excitement and momentum and us cheering each other on. And it's just, it was such a magical time. And I don't even know, and I know that it's going to happen again. I know that, like, I've seen it happen again for people on my team, and I know it'll happen again for me personally. But like that girl, that one girl that said yes, and at the time, this is the crazy part. At the time, my husband's leg was my biggest leg, and it was so full of momentum and volume, and it was about to overtake everything. And at that time, if you would have asked me, like if another leg was going to come in and skyrocket and take over that leg, I would have been like, no way, his leg is on fire. That one girl that told me she would talk to me ended up being my first ambassador. Wow. That one, her leg ended up having the leg that has 8 ambassadors in it. That leg is the leg that is like my elephant leg with millions of volume in it. I don't know how that happened, but I have belief that at some point another leg's going to come over and take over that leg. Renee, tequila might be you girls, you know, like you never know. It could be anybody at any point in time. It could be the person you're standing next to at the grocery store, the person sitting next to you at the restaurant. It's anybody. Because the people that have come into my life that have changed my business are the ones that are complete strangers. It's not the people that I knew. It's not my family members. It's not my friends. They are the complete strangers. They're the ones that have came into my business and have skyrocketed and changed everything for me. And so that's why Stormy, like, I just don't think it was me, you know, it wasn't, it's an amazing story, but I don't feel like it's my story. I feel like it was just an amazing team story and a magical thing that happened, but I don't feel like it's my thing to share because I don't feel like it was me, you know?
And don't you feel like that's why God blessed you like that? You know? Right, Gina? I just feel like it's just a neat story, you know, to say you never even picked up a chart. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I know. Like when people talk about charting and books, it's just like the only reason I knew I was going to go ambassador is because somebody was like, so how close are you to ambassador? And I was like, I don't know. And I actually did go home and was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm going ambassador this month. And I just feel like when things are meant to happen, they're going to happen. And it's not going to happen because you planned it out. And so when I see people stressing about promotions, it breaks my heart because I feel like it's going to happen, you know? And when you do things from a place of love and when you do things for the right reasons, and it's like, you know, I was helping people because I wanted them to win. I wasn't helping them because I wanted my promotions to happen. And I feel like that is why everything happened the way it did. I don't know. I just feel like, and if you guys haven't watched The Secret, I love, that is what changed everything for my life. I watched it. It actually just popped up on my time hop. I watched it March 25th, 2009. I walked to a library. We were living in a little rental, and I made my first dream board. And I remember on the dream board, I had like, you know, at that time I couldn't even buy like makeup or purses or clothes, just because that was stuff that it was extra. We didn't have that kind of money. But I wanted to buy a house, and I wanted to a little girl, and I couldn't get pregnant, and I felt like such a failure. And then I got pregnant, and then we lost the baby, and I couldn't figure out like why things were happening like that. Um, and then I told my husband, like, I don't think I can do this again. Like, I don't think I can emotionally go through trying to have a baby and maybe losing it again. Like, I just don't emotionally think I can handle it. And that was on a Monday, and he left for a business trip. And then on Friday, he came home, and I took a pregnancy test, and I was pregnant. And then so when I told him I didn't want to have another baby, I was already pregnant, didn't know it. But I had made a dream board, and on that dream board, I put a house with a white picket fence, and a mom playing with a little girl. And shortly, 9 months later, we moved into a house that came with a white picket fence, and I had my daughter 10 days later. And so I just think your mind is very powerful. Prayer is very powerful. So, you know, it's not always in our timing, but I just think that if you have belief and you are patient, his timing is always perfect timing. And yes, visualize whatever you want. You know, my dream board now, I want land. I want a boat for my husband because he wants a fishing boat. And I want a vacation home. And really, that's about it. I don't really want much. I want to be healthy. I want to be fit and healthy for my kids. I want to be the healthiest version of myself I can be so I can live the longest life I can live. But everything else is gravy. I am so blessed, and I feel like I'm so beyond blessed. And I just hope that you guys all reach whatever goals you have in life. And when the moments get tough, you know, write a letter to yourself. Everything that you want, you know, everything that you are working for and why you're working for it. And when the moments get tough, you pull out that letter and read it to yourself and remember why you're working for what you're working for and what you're doing it for. And keep at it, you know, because it's always going to get hard. You're never going to have nothing but amazing moments that are great and happy and easy. Because if the mountain was smooth, you wouldn't be able to climb it. It's got to have some bumps in it so that you can get your feet on there and grip onto it tight, you know?
It's a good analogy. Stormy, have anything else before I finish this up?
No, I have chills, and I have a page of notes of like mic drop quotes.
No, I know. Shauntel, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I absolutely adore you. And
I
what
adore
we
you
do
guys.
after every event or every Zoom team, I always pray for us. So that's what
Oh,
we're gonna do. So let me pray for everybody. So let's pray. Dearly Father, Lord, we come to you and we thank you so much, God, just for who you are. And Lord, I lift up Shauntel to you. I thank you for her amazing heart and her family, Lord. I pray that you protect her and watch over her. Lord, I know that with everything that is happening, that there are those bumps in the road. And Lord, I absolutely know without a doubt that you can make a way and will make a way. And all we have to do is we need to pray and we need to take action. And Lord, I just pray right now that those of us that are going after these amazing promotions, that we will stop and enjoy and remember that you are the reason that we're able to do anything, God, and that you will protect us and watch over us and bring the people into our business that need to be here if we just take the action that we need to do. Lord, I thank you for this team. I thank you for every single person that's represented on the team and their families. Just keep us well. Lord, I lift up Shauntel, her husband, her daughter, and her son, that you'll just wrap your loving arms around them and protect them, Lord. And God, I thank you for the amazing time that they were able to spend this last week together and just growing closer to one another. God, I love you so much. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you.